I think the most dangerous thing for a nation, a generation, is a society without God. And I think the worst thing that can happen to us is to be left to ourselves. Man becomes depraved. When there is a fear of God, it brings a balance to society. And that's why I feel it gives you purpose, it puts everything back into check. And when you take God out, when you take spirituality out, everything goes out of balance and man becomes more depraved and wicked and human. So I really feel it's important that young people have that God factor in their lives.
Jesus, 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 Jesus.
In the heart of the city of Gurgaon resides an unassuming adobe of worship known as Bethel City Church. It is a church without any cathedral, ceiling, color-tinted windows, or even a cross. But on every Sunday morning, this place transforms into a ministry of worship where young men and women are singing, dancing, and praying to achieve happiness through spirituality.
I think we try to be contemporary and authentic as much as we can. I think the youth like the music, the fellowship, the practical preaching. I think most of all the young people are attracted to the presence of God. My dad has a saying like this, he says, where the honey is, the bees will come. So we feel people are able to connect with God here, and that's the reason they keep coming. And it's not about us. I'm like a tour guide, I introduce them to their God, and my job is to get people to connect with God every week in a deeper way.
You will get the blessings from the heaven directly in your place, in your life, and God will bless you in everything.
Music might be the reason for which young men and women are initially attracted to the church every Sunday, but the teaching and spiritual guidance that is imparted to the patrons motivates and encourages the youth to visit this ministry again and again.
We teach people that they're valuable, they're precious, God paid a great price for them. We teach people that Jesus died on the cross for them and that they're very valuable to Him. We also teach people that God has a great plan and a destiny for their life. God has a purpose for their life.
One of the most unique features of Bethel City Church is that there is no cross hanging anywhere in the premises.
We as a church don't believe in worshiping the cross or worshiping the idol or of a saint. Again, we believe in a direct relationship with God. And so cross is good, but cross is not something to be worshipped. We believe in worshiping Jesus. Jesus came to establish a personal connection relationship. And the cross and the idols, I think, take that away from it.
Teaching of Bethel City Church is very different from that of a traditional Catholic church. This institution is not imposing a religion. Instead, the emphasis is towards connecting with the God within.
I think religion is a lot of do's and don'ts. Religion binds people. We say religion kills people. Religion's about what you wear, what you eat, what you do, what you don't do. And we try not to preach a religion. We try to preach a relationship. We tell people Jesus came to establish a relationship with people, not to establish a religion, And it's that relationship that we keep coming back to.
In these times of growing intolerance and polarization of society-based religion, institutions like Bethel City Church have an important role to negate the effects of religious intolerance.
Christianity itself becomes a religion, and which it has a lot in the West and in the south of India. Christianity is a religion. I grew up with it. My time when I was a little kid, we were taught not to wear jeans and not to do a lot of things. It kills you. And I think the only hope is the person Jesus Christ. And I strongly believe that. And that's what we do. Jesus is the hope.
The epidemic of depression is widespread in urban centers. Growing insecurities and individualistic greed, especially among the youth, has fueled unrestricted spread of depression in a city like Gurgaon.
We all go through depression, but we don't have to stay in depression. But when you realize you're not the center of the universe, God is at the center of the universe, and when you start to be grateful and thankful what God has done in your life, I think it takes you away from depression. I think, again, the worst thing you can do to a depressed person is to let them be depressed. You need to help them understand, see beyond their depression, that there is hope, there is life after that.
The church makes a very clear distinction between atheism and religious intolerance.
Atheists in India are atheists because of disappointment. And so they are searching for the truth. And I think in India, they're desperate to find the truth. There are people who walked into a church and have said, I didn't believe in God till now, but now I know there is a God. But when you talk about atheistic philosophy, that is very different, I think. So when you take that atheistic philosophy we see in the West, I think it's difficult for you to be spiritual because of the underlying foundational principles you believe in. Say with me this morning, say, I forgive everyone, everything they have done to me. Say, no one owes me anything. Forgiveness is the most powerful thing you can do. And as a kid growing up, I've watched people whose families have been murdered, like you say, and the government saying, we will support you, but watching them look at their oppressors and say, I forgive you, is something very powerful. Now, if you're asking if forgiveness, I think society laws are different from personal forgiveness. I personally feel if you break a society law, then you come under that society law. But as an individual person, I am free to forgive what someone has done to me. But I cannot impose my forgiveness theory on someone else. Each person has to make their choice on whether they want to forgive or not. But as an individual, I pray one day if someone does something so terrible to me, I would be able to look at them and say, I forgive you.
We are living in times where it is cool to be an atheist or not accept the existence of God. For precisely this reason, an institution like Bethel City Church is a unique and exceptional example of an organization that has managed to guide its patrons on the path of happiness through spirituality.
We really feel there's a vacuum inside of every human. It can be filled with money, sex, power, alcohol. Only God can fill that vacuum. And so when you hit that connection, nothing else will satisfy. And I think that's what's happening here. People are able to connect with God in a deeper level. And that's why they keep coming back. The starting point is to have a relationship with Jesus Christ. And it's as simple. The Bible says you must believe in your heart and confess with your mouth. When you do that, you start the first step.